The Gulf Harbour Community Trust has prepared this video in response to the recent fire that has largely destroyed the driving range buildings at the Gulf Harbour Country Club. This latest incident provides an opportunity to reflect on the continuing deterioration of a significant community asset and the ongoing concerns that many residents have expressed regarding the future of the property. For almost 3 years, the community has witnessed a progressive decline of facilities that once formed an important part of life in Gulf Harbour. And during that period, major assets have been lost, safety concerns have increased, and uncertainty regarding the future of the site has continued. The Trust remains committed to protecting the green open spaces that are such an important feature of our community, while navigating the complex legal and financial issues that surround the property. In this update, we will discuss the Trust's response to the ongoing situation in 5 parts. First, we will examine the escalating safety issues affecting the property. Second, we will discuss accountability and responsibility. Third, we will explain the legal options currently being considered. And then, fourth, we will examine the realities surrounding future development proposals. And finally, we will outline the next steps available to the community. So the first part, the escalating safety crisis. Since the closure of the golf course in July 2023, the decline of the property has become increasingly apparent. 3 major fires have now resulted in the destruction of significant facilities. The first fire destroyed the pro shop. A subsequent fire destroyed the main clubhouse complex, including the cafe, gymnasium, swimming pool facilities. And most recently, the driving range building has also been largely destroyed. Regardless of the cause of these incidents, the cumulative impact on the property has been substantial. In addition to the loss of buildings, residents have reported a wide range of ongoing issues affecting both the property and the surrounding community. These include repeated incidents of vandalism, theft, the removal of property from the site, unauthorised access by vehicles and individuals, the presence of squatters and freedom campers, illegal dumping of rubbish, significant overgrowth of vegetation, increasing vermin and pest activity, and continuing concerns regarding fire risk. Particular concern has been expressed about the growing use of dirt bikes, motorcycles, quad bikes and other vehicles across the property, often at speed and in areas regularly used by residents for walking and recreation. This activity creates a significant risk of serious personal injury to members of the public who continue to use pathways and access routes traversing the golf course. Residents have reported numerous instances of vehicles travelling at high speed in close proximity to walkers, creating an environment that many consider both unsafe and unacceptable. Residents have also expressed concerns regarding noise, security, loss of amenity, and the progressive deterioration of what was once a major community asset. Taken together, these issues raise legitimate questions regarding public safety, environmental management, and the impact that the condition of the property is having on neighbouring property owners and the wider Gulf Harbour community. Many residents who live adjacent to the golf course have expressed concern about the potential risk posed by further fires, particularly given the proximity of residential housing to parts of the property. The Gulf Harbour Community Trust recognises these concerns and considers them to be both reasonable and understandable, and the Trust continues to advocate for measures that improve safety, reduce unauthorised access and protect the wider community from further deterioration of the site. Secondly, accountability and responsibility. The current situation also raises important questions regarding responsibility for the property. Long River Investments remains a registered owner of the land. However, the property is subject to significant mortgage securities, and the first mortgage is held by 1543 Capital, a United States-based investment entity headquartered in Connecticut. The Trust's position is that while Long River remains the registered owner, the mortgage has been in default for an extended period, and 1543 Capital, as first mortgagee, exercises effective control over the future of the property. The Trust has formally written to both Long River and 1543 Capital, reminding them that substantial interests in such a significant community asset carry legal responsibilities that extend beyond purely financial considerations. and the Trust continues to advocate for practical measures that address safety concerns, prevent further deterioration of the site and provide greater certainty regarding its future. The Trust is also engaging with Auckland Council regarding its powers and responsibilities under applicable legislation and bylaws. Discussions have taken place with New Zealand Police concerning unauthorised access, theft, vandalism and the removal of infrastructure and fencing from the property. In addition, the Trust has met with local Member of Parliament Mark Mitchell to ensure that the concerns of Gulf Harbour residents are communicated to central government. At the same time, the Trust acknowledges the considerable contribution of local volunteers who have undertaken maintenance work across parts of the golf course. These volunteers have assisted with mowing fairways, controlling pest plants and reducing potential fire hazards. Their efforts have helped preserve aspects of the property while longer-term solutions are pursued. So we come to part 3, which is legal options under consideration. The Trust has been investigating a range of legal options that may be available to the community, and one area being examined is whether the current condition of the property may give rise to issues associated with public and private nuisance. In broad terms, public nuisance concerns arise where conditions on another person's land have a significant adverse effect on the wider public or the surrounding community. The Trust is obtaining legal advice to confirm that the ongoing deterioration of the property, together with associated safety and environmental concerns, constitutes both a public and private nuisance. This is not simply a dispute between neighbouring property owners. The issues affect the wider Gulf Harbour community and raise questions regarding public safety, environmental management, loss of amenity and the enjoyment of surrounding properties. A second area of interest relates to existing covenants affecting parts of the golf course. Many residents may not be aware that certain properties adjoining the golf course are subject to registered covenants recorded against the title to the land. And these covenants impose obligations that run with the land and continue to apply regardless of changes in ownership. The covenants are predicated on the ongoing operation of the land as a golf course and country club. Many property owners purchased their homes on the clear understanding that these obligations existed and accepted a range of corresponding obligations and restrictions for the benefit of the golf course owner. Failure to continue operating the land as a golf course may provide those owners with legal rights in relation to any attempt to vary or remove the 999-year encumbrance requiring the land to be used exclusively as a golf course and country club. The Trust is preparing a representative legal proceeding that addresses both nuisance claims and the rights of covenant holders to object to any attempt to vary or remove the 999-year encumbrance. A representative action allows multiple parties with common interest to pursue legal claims through a single proceeding rather than through numerous separate actions. And once this work has been completed, the Trust intends to call a meeting of those property owners whose properties are subject to the relevant covenants. Part 4, Development Realities. Discussion regarding the future use of the property has generated considerable interest within the community, and a variety of development concepts have been discussed over time. However, it is important to recognise that different forms of development can have very different impacts on the surrounding area. Traditional residential subdivision can result in substantial population growth, increased vehicle movements and additional demands on local infrastructure, schools and healthcare services. By contrast, age-related residential developments such as retirement villages typically generate lower traffic volumes and often provide a range of services within the development itself. The Trust has previously discussed the possibility of a retirement village development being located on a limited portion of the former driving range area while preserving the majority of the existing open space and maintaining the full 18-hole golf course. As previously explained, the Trust's long-term objective is to secure ownership of the golf course land on behalf of the community so that it can be protected in perpetuity. Achieving that objective is likely to require partnerships with third parties capable of providing the financial resources necessary to acquire the property. Once a detailed proposal has been developed, the Trust intends to present it to the community and seek feedback through a public meeting. The Trust also recognises that acquiring the property will require agreement with the first mortgagee. Previous proposals by the first mortgagee, 1543 Capital, involving residential development of parts of the golf course have not proceeded, and the Trust will continue to oppose any proposal that does not satisfy the community protections and red lines previously identified by the Trust. Experience demonstrates that development proposals by third parties can change significantly due to economic conditions, financing constraints, construction costs, and the changing market circumstances. And if the golf course land is not controlled by the community, any new development proposal could fail, as have earlier attempts to develop the land for residential housing. And consequently, we could find ourselves in the same position yet again when a developer becomes insolvent or has exited the land, leaving the community to again have to deal with a new owner who does not have the financial ability or desire to continue to operate a golf course on the land. Ultimately, community ownership in conjunction with financially credible third parties is the only structure that guarantees that we are protected from yet another developer trying to convert the golf course into residential housing. To be absolutely clear, the Trust remains committed to protecting the community's legal rights and preserving the maximum possible area of open space together with an 18-hole golf course. The Trust's preferred outcome remains a restoration of the golf course and associated community facilities for the benefit of Gulf Harbour residents. Part 5. Next steps for the community. The future of the Gulf Harbour Country Club and golf course remains one of the most significant issues facing our community. The property comprises approximately 89 hectares of open space and represents a substantial community asset. The Trust remains committed to advocating for public safety, environmental stewardship, and the long-term interests of Gulf Harbour residents. Over the coming months, we will continue engaging with public authorities, pursuing legal options, and seeking constructive solutions that provide certainty for the community. Residents who wish to stay informed are encouraged to register their interest through the Trust's email address and participate in future discussions. These communication channels will be on the final page of this video. Residents who are not already registered with the Trust are encouraged to consider joining and becoming involved in the Trust's activities. The Trust also welcomes invitations from community groups that wish to discuss these issues in greater detail, and we are meeting with many community groups now, and we will be very open to meeting with your group, whether it's 5 people or 50. The strength of any community response ultimately depends upon community participation. This is not simply a debate about a golf course. It is a discussion about the future of a significant community asset, the preservation of valuable open space, and the safety and well-being of the people who call Gulf Harbour home. The question facing the community is whether the continued deterioration of this important asset will be allowed to continue, or whether the community will work together to secure a long-term solution that protects the interests of current and future generations. The Gulf Harbour Community Trust will continue working on behalf of the community, and we will provide further updates as developments occur. Thank you for watching.